I saw the last one, which was really amazing.
Isn't she
Uh,
something?
yeah, it was so awesome.
She has so much that she does. She's
Oh no.
a special lady. She's really something.
It's interesting to see that how people have so many skills and they just diversify from their they're not in a cocoon. You see, they just open up and then they go different things, do different things in life. Sometimes it surprises me that they have so much time to do that.
I
You know,
know.
and
And that they care so much
true,
for
true.
people in
Yeah.
other situations. And sometimes we get so insulated with our own path and problems and our finances and our career. But if like so much more, there's so many blessings out there when you start helping other people.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thanks again for coming on to another episode of Comic Spot. Please go to my YouTube, comedian Linda Marcus Smith, and subscribe. I know it sounds demeaning. It starts with sub, but it's not demeaning. There's nothing negative. You just help me and you get nothing out of it other than you can look at these videos when you have nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. Correct.
Yeah. So these videos were all started out of my passion. I was sitting at a comedy club and I watched people come and I watched people go. And I would ask them, did you like the comic? No.
Yeah.
Did you like what they said? No, it wasn't my cup of tea. Well, now's your chance to sit here for a few minutes and get an idea about this guest that I have here today, Abedin. And he's going to tell you a little bit about his personal life, a little bit about his comedy life, his goals in life, his passion, you name it. And you can say, oh, I didn't really connect with Abedin. Or oh my gosh, I adore Abedin. I want to go help his numbers on social media. I want to go see him when he performs live. This is your opportunity because sometimes, not saying Abedin, but some comedians go on stage and they only reveal what they want you to know about them. They only maybe touch a little bit personal, or they're a character, or they're portraying a persona or doing an impression of somebody else. And you walk away going, I don't even know who he is or who she is. Now you get a chance to get to really know people. So that's your opportunity. That's the only reason I'm doing this.
It's amazing. I mean, it's a very nice platform, and like we know nowadays, it is so easy to connect with people anywhere in the world. So this is really nice. Yes.
Thank you, Abedin. So let me tell you who my esteemed guest is now that he's spoken. He's over there in the pink background looking so mighty handsome. Let me tell you his name. Let me try to say this. His first name is Abedin. His last name is long and uses almost every consonant in the alphabet. It's Ambakhutwala.
Ambakhutwala. That is such a good pronunciation of my name. Yep. Perfect.
Oh, good. Because mine is Smith.
Yeah. It's like so small, like, I mean, even like a 5-year-old can spell it, but mine is like, you need to be at least 10 years old to spell your own last name. So.
The teachers are like, okay, Abedin, forget your last name. I'll just call you Abedin. You're always first in the alphabet.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, you were either way. Let me read the intro for Abedin. For my intro, you can just call me an Italian software engineer who looks like a Jewish person from the Upper West Side of New York, trying to make it in the world of comedy. That's a cute intro. I love that. So let's talk about you being on the Upper West Side of New York. New York has been through a lot with the pandemic and all of the tridemic going on. You've been a hub of a lot of illnesses and deaths. New York gets everything worse at first. Everything.
Wait, Linda, did you actually think I was from New York? I'm not actually from New York.
No, you're of Indian descent, and it says, oh, you look like you're from the upper.
Well,
Well, where do you live? You
So
threw
yeah, this room is in Richmond, Virginia. That's where I live.
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's almost New York.
Exactly. It's like very close to New York. I wish I was in New York, but the life in Richmond is much compared to New York. It's much easier to live with
Yeah,
a family, basically. So that's why I live in Richmond. Yeah.
got it. That's about 5 hours from New York.
Yes, if you drive in the wee hours or something like at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, you might be able to reach in 5 hours. But generally, it takes about 8 hours nowadays to drive in in that traffic. So 5 hours is like if you're flying, you might get there by 3 or 4 hours max. But driving is a pain. Yeah, it's like 8 hours from Richmond to New York.
Wow. Well, let's talk about being in Richmond. When you're not on stage and you're not trying to impress people with you being a funny person,
Yeah.
nobody knows you're a comedian. What do you do around town? What kind of with you and your family? What things do you do?
Okay, so there are many things that we do to keep ourselves busy. So my daughter, she comes to me on the weekends. All right, she's from my previous marriage, so we have a lot of fun during the weekends. She's a big into soccer, so we play soccer when she's around. And then my wife and I, we love to try different things at home, like cooking and all that stuff. So we do that. And also we like to go out there are beautiful malls around Richmond, and there are beautiful areas where we can just sit. There are microbreweries and there are good restaurants that keep coming up almost every month, so we tried those two. And I have a motorcycle, so I also spend my time, a lot of my time, with my motorcycling friends. So Wednesdays is a given that we meet every Wednesday at one restaurant, and we talk, and we just have a nice time. And then we also go for rides on the weekends sometimes. So sometimes if this I have to balance between family and friends. So if I'm not doing anything with family, I take my motorcycle and I go on rides with my friends. And basically all around the year, the weather in Richmond is really nice. So there's something to do for everyone. Like in summer, there are these beautiful parks around Richmond. And in winter, you can just stay home, or you can go to the malls and just hang out with friends and family. So it's beautiful. So that's what we do while I'm not doing things on stage and online. This is like this is how we spend our time in Richmond, which is basically, I've been here for almost 19 years, 19 years, and I've seen Richmond grow like anything. Yeah, there used to be like one Costco, one Walmart, and stuff like that, that kind of a town. But now there are so many options, and so many options to shop around, and restaurants and stuff. So
Okay, so let's start with your name.
yeah.
You're of Indian descent. So what do you want to tell us about your heritage? I don't want to sound like I'm asking for information and I work for ICE or anything like
No,
that.
no, no, no.
Whatever you want to say.
Okay, so basically, Indian descent means uh, so my name is Arabic, all right, Abedin. So my descent comes from, we follow the Muslim religion, the Islamic religion. And so India, as you know, it's like so many religions out there. Like basically there are 5 to 6 religions in India. So I am from Bombay, which is a cosmopolitan city in Bombay. And I actually did my DNA test, 23andMe. So me, basically, it depends on how many people register, right? So it comes all the way from India, my genes are, but 0.01% of my gene is from Africa. So it shows that the beginning of, so this is like my great 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 grandfather. So like 5 or 6 generations before, it shows that my DNA is linked to Africa. So probably there is some, so like India was a place where people came from the north and got settled in the country, right? That's what we learn in history. And so people came from all over the world, that means, over there in that. So there was a very the name India comes from, people used to come from the Indus Valley. There's a valley called Indus Valley. So people migrated from there, came to India, got settled over there, and that's how we got the name of India. And so it could be like our heritage could be traced all the way back to the Indus Valley and where everyone came from. So, and you see, in India, we don't have a good record of people sometimes. So, luckily, we have this 23andMe. So, that can show me that at least four generations above me, we are all located in India area, in different areas, like in different states. Like there's a state called Gujarat. So, that's where my traces are basically traced from. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And then it depends, it depends upon how the mixture of the genes was. So my family is basically, my parents are cousins, so it was not a mixture of genes from different families or something. So it can be traced to one point in the tree where, so that's what India is, and that's what my existence is all about. Yeah.
I love that. So you live in Richmond, Virginia. You've lived there for 19 years,
Yes.
correct? And
Yeah.
where, yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead.
So on and off, like I came here in 2013. That was the first time I got my job. And then I lived in Pennsylvania for 6 months. And then I came back. And then so like overall, I'm like, yeah, 19 years in Richmond. So next year it's gonna be like June 2023, it'll be like 20 years. Yep.
At what point in your life did you start into comedy?
So it was a long time back. It was about 10 years back that I started.
Wow.
So so like I said, I look at people, they do many different things, they find time for stuff like that. So I was just surfing on Craigslist.com. All right. And then I found this guy in Richmond. He said he needs people for running a comedy troupe. Right. So it was called Fool's Day Comedy. So I went over there, I auditioned for that thing, and he said, "Yeah, you know what? Come and join us." So that's where this bug bit me. And so since 10 years, I mean, so I don't think of it as my professional career, but like I said, it's something like, I like to do on the side, kind of, which gives me, now how can I tell you? It's like a venue for me, right?
Yeah.
That I go out there, I go on the stage, or I see on Facebook Live, Zoom, and all. It gives me the sense of that, that's something I'm doing outside of my regular job. So that's how it started long time back in 2012 that I got into this.
So have you mostly stuck to doing the comedy troupe? Is that improv or is that stand up? What type of comedy is the troupe?
That was an improv mainly, but then that troupe got dissolved, and I had to, like, I got a job up in Michigan, in Detroit, so I had to leave that troupe and go there. And then by the time I came back, it was no longer there, or maybe I did not get in touch with them after I came back because I got busy with work and family. So that's why I couldn't like get back to that troupe. But then but then I said, since I've into that thing, so I started looking at scenes of stand up in Richmond, Virginia itself. So there were a couple of venues which are really awesome, which I used to do, and I still do sometimes on and off. So then I started going there, and there was one friend of mine who would always accompany me. So he used to give me the boost, then yeah, go, I'll come with you. So then I started back about 5 or 6 years back. Then I got into this thing, and then I just love it. I just go when I hold the mic in my hand. I feel kind of really really good about myself, and so then I started doing that, and so far it's okay. No complaints. I go like, and 2 years back or one year back. somebody introduced me to this online thing. He said that why don't you go on Facebook? There's this displaced comedians, and so he said, why don't you just go and join that group, and there'll be a lot of open mics you will come to know about, and then you can perform. So there are a few that I hit regularly. One is that SOS and the F Club comedy. Yep. And then there's this what do you call that? A clean comedy thing. So basically what I do is like I try to do clean things, like 85, 90% of the time, maybe just 10% of the time, something slips out of my mouth and they, what I like to do, like, I would like to make people laugh with clean stuff, right? And that is it's very difficult to do that because anybody can laugh when you just drop an F-bomb anywhere, right? And you
Yes,
say the words be this, that, but keeping it clean and actually getting the people's attention is very, very difficult. So I try to do that most of
I
the time.
love that.
Yeah.
And that puts you in line to be, to be on late night, to get on David Letterman, he's long gone, but like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy
Yeah,
Fallon, those kind of shows, if you're clean, and AGT,
exactly. Yeah.
it opens up, it doesn't close you, it opens you to much higher, corporate clean comedy and doing motivational speaking and doing corporate gigs. It opens up the world to a lot more money.
Yes. And like I like it because my daughter loves it when I do stand-ups. So she's 14 right now, so she cannot accompany me to the comedy clubs. But once she's that age, I will take her with me. And so we enjoy doing stuff like that. So
Yes.
yeah.
Now, some clubs will let you bring in a minor. Like I know two clubs here in Vegas that will let minors in. Maybe you have some in your area where she can come in at 14, but she has to sit in a certain area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have
Sometimes
to
those,
yeah, I'll have to find that out because mostly where I go on these open mics, they're like, they try to make unclean versions. So they,
yes,
but
yeah,
they're good. It's
yeah,
it's not very bad, but just because of there are certain laws and stuff, you can't take your kids in those areas. So
yeah. And it's probably better that she's not around the comedy because sometimes they don't watch their mouths.
right,
I mean,
exactly. So
yeah. I know that SOS comedy, um, Heather, she came from, we both know Gladys Simon, who has a weekly show on Zoom.
oh,
Um,
okay.
you could probably get in on that if you get a hold of Jean Kim.
Okay,
She
Gene Kim.
and then you could be on the monthly Zoom show with Gladys Simon. Um, and on that show, there's like a 12-year-old boy that
Oh,
does
wow.
comedy. And he sits there the whole time while he's getting schooled about sex and anal and everything. And the poor little kid, I just feel so bad for him. But he's a trooper. He doesn't care. He laughs.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know if he
nice.
knows what they're saying, but he's laughing.
I will have to get onto that room.
Yeah, get a hold
I'll
of Jean
contact
Kim and tell
Gene
her
Kim.
that you talked to me.
Okay, I will.
I carry a lot of weight, like 120 pounds too much.
Wow.
Kidding. I'm not that big, but
Yeah.
the pandemic made us ladies get wider and wider. Have you noticed?
I know it also actually, so it's been hitting me for a long time because even before the pandemic started, I was working from home all the time, like say since 2018, I would say. So since 4 years, I've been like trying to keep my weight down and trying to be as busy as possible during the day because if you're not going to work, right, you're just at home. So at home, you don't walk around that much. So I try to get out. I sacrifice my lunch sometimes, so that during the lunchtime I can go out, have some nice sun, sweat it out, and then come back and start working. So I mean, the pandemic has been really, really, you know, kind of, you can say pros and cons. It was nice sitting at home and not going to drive all the way to work, come back. But then the cons, like you feel like, what is that movie, the Forrest Gump kind of thing? you
Yes.
know, you're isolated sometimes, so you feel the need to talk to people, and that so. But yeah, pandemic was. But now that it is all over, I'm glad so that I can at least, we can go out. We had like you know, the first time when we actually went to a theater after the pandemic got started getting over, I almost cried because I
Yes.
could see the movie on the big screen. Because that's one of the things that my family and I we used to love to go to see the movies. So almost like twice a month, we would be 2 weekends, we would be at the theater, all three of us, my wife, my daughter, and myself, and we would enjoy the movies. So yeah, but I'm glad it's all gone now. I'm sure pandemic is like almost gone, except for this inflation now, which has to come down so that people can
Yeah.
again start living their lives.
Yes. Oh, so I have a question to ask you, and
Yes,
it might sound like it's a racist question, but that's not my heart. I
that's
just
okay.
want to I just want to know. I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
half Jewish. This half is Jewish, this half is Christian. This half loves to watch Jewish comedians.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're of Indian descent. So who are your favorite Indian descendant comedians out there?
So Indian descendant are, and I'm glad you said about Jewish. So I'll come back to that also. The Indian descent. I don't. There's a guy called Nilesh Patel, who is in US. Nilesh
What's the name?
Patel.
Nimesh Patel. I just met him.
Yeah. So that I like that guy
I
because
like him too.
yeah, I like the way he speaks. I like so most of the things which he talks about, I can relate to those. So he's one of my favorite. Recently, he has become one of my favorites because
His
I keep
wife
getting,
is Jewish.
huh?
His wife is
Well, his
Jewish.
wife is a she. So I think he got some transferred, something got transferred on him. So, but, and I'm not trying to say this because you're half Jewish, but my favorite comedian has always been Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld. So,
Oh, wow. So many people either love him or can't stand him. He
yeah,
splits the room.
exactly. But I'm on this side. I love him because, and that's where my love for clean comedy came up from because
Wow.
he, not a single time, even in his show, all the 10 years, he did anything dirty. You see, he is like, he's clean as a whistle. I love that. And I've seen as he's the only comedian whose show I go to see. So when he came to Richmond, so my ex-wife and my current wife, they both know that I love him. So they both got me tickets to the show. And I went and saw him in person. And he's the only comedian I've ever seen live. None other. Yeah. And I'm like, if you make a bucket list of things you want to do, meeting Jerry Seinfeld is on top. Be up here because I want to see that man in person. I love his persona. I love his the way he speaks. I love his composure so much that I actually want to be in his company. Even if he gives me like 5 minutes, that's more than enough. I want to be in his company for 5 minutes.
Wow. That
That's
is
how
so
much,
cool.
yeah, that's how much I idolize him.
So I just went to Salt Lake City. I'm with Wise Guys here in Vegas on a regular basis at their mics, and I've done some guest spots and featuring, but I went to Salt Lake just to do their open mics on Tuesday and Wednesday about a month ago.
Okay.
Out there, I was told I could be on the Tuesday and Wednesday mic. And then they canceled the Wednesday mic because Nimesh Patel was going to be
Oh
on.
wow.
And so I don't know who he is. I'm sitting there, and he comes out and he says a couple things to a couple people in the audience. And I laughed. And he goes, "What are you laughing about?" I go, "I don't know. I'm Jewish." Like I don't, we just, like I said, "I don't know. I'm Jewish." And he ran with Jewish, and he that's how I found out his wife is Jewish.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very fun to hear him.
Yeah, and now yes, I would really like to see one of his shows also because the way he talks and the points that he brings. I like his one show about the British people, right? So his joke is really so awesome and hits right to the point. He talks about there was a teacher in his audience, and, and then he asked the teacher, "What do you teach?" The teacher said, "I teach history of the British people." So he said that, "Oh, is it just a big book of apologies?" That is tremendous. That is one joke that hits so hard, and I think every Indian guy and every British guy can relate to that. So
Yes, and the Indian people can so relate to that.
exactly, like 100%,
Oh,
100% to
oh,
that.
oh. Well, what would you like to say to people about following you on social media or coming to your shows? What have you got to say?
So actually, right now, if you can follow me on my social media and just because I'm not up to the stage where I can call people to my shows, right? So I am practicing right now, but yes, please follow me on my social media. I have a YouTube channel. So
What's
if
your
you
YouTube channel?
wait, let me post it over here. I
Okay,
think
I'll
if I
go
can pull it
follow
up.
it right now.
Yeah, I think I sent you a request or wait, let me see if I have it on my, yeah, here it is.
What's it called?
A laugh and travel with Abedin
Oh yeah, I
Ambakhutwala.
think I subscribed. I did.
Yeah, yes, you did. I think you did.
That's beautiful.
So here is what I like to do. I like to, like I said, I like to travel with my family, and then so my aim is whichever city I go, sometimes, right? I would like to hit some open mics in that city and do that. So that's why I thought about laugh and travel, so that I put up some travel videos. So it all started off like I just wanted to make some memories, right? I have a very, very weak memory. I don't remember some stuff after a few years. So what I did is that I started making these travel videos wherever we go, so that so that in the future when we see, we know that this is where we went, this is where we stayed, this is where we ate, that's it, and this is what we did. So it creates a lot of memories. And now that we sit behind, and now I've been making these videos for some years now, 2 or 3 years, and when we go back and see that, it is all fresh in your mind, and then we just realize, oh yes, we had so much fun. We went to Miami, Key West 2 years back, 2 3 years back, my wife and I, and so we have those videos. And then we make small, even if you go for a small camping trip, like with my daughter, and we went recently in the summer. So we have that, we have those, so we know exactly, like it'll be very useful for my daughter when she grows up, like, when she's my age and she will see those videos. Hopefully she will like it.
Absolutely. Maybe you can take Seinfeld on a trip.
I would like to. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll join Make My Wish.
Make a wish. You want to be a make a wish?
Yeah, and then I might make a wish over there, and then hopefully somebody might say, okay, this guy, you know, he's been wanting to meet Seinfeld for so long. Let's make his wish come true, and then they might make me meet him. So
Yes. Sometimes Seinfeld might come out with a new book or a new show. And
yeah.
so whenever he comes out with a book or a show, you can reach out to his publicist and see if he wants to come on my show, and I'll let you interview him on my show.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be like,
I'll just sit here and let you do all the work. I'll get the show together and you do the work.
oh yes, and I will. First half I'll be like very emotional. So the
Yes.
second half, oh, that would be great, Linda. Yes.
I don't
Oh,
know if you heard of Wendy Liebman, but she's my hero. She's my Jerry Seinfeld.
oh, is it okay?
And so when I found out about Wendy Liebman, I studied her comedy and her pacing and her jokes and everything. And And when she came on and let me interview her, I cried through half of the interview.
I know. I would do, but that'll be manly tears. So
Well, now everybody knows where to follow you. And do you have any performances coming up that we can go tell people to go watch you?
so there's a show on the 19th, which is the dark side of comedy. Aaron Dus, I don't know his last name,
Despiva.
but Duspiva, yeah. So he's on. He has asked me to perform on the 19th of December. It's at 7 p.m. So that's where I'll be.
Aaron Despiva on Zoom
Yeah.
at the dark side of comedy. And it's December 19th. At what time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. What time zone?
EST, Eastern.
Perfect. Put that in the chat. That's where you can catch him performing on Zoom. Yeah, I love Aaron. That's a great show.
Yeah, he is too. And that's one of the show where I was like, I did perform on his open mics once or twice, and it is so interesting. And like I said, this open mic on Zoom has opened up so many opportunities for people, and I have met so many funny people on this show that I can't just express it. It's amazing. So yeah, I'll be on
Absolutely.
that show on the 19th, and hopefully my daughter will also be watching, so it'll be all clean, and I don't do any any dirty things. So
That's
yeah.
great. Thank you so much for being a great father, family man. You have great friendships in your life, and you even go out and make comedy happen. And your YouTube, where you show all your travels. Say the name of your YouTube again.
It is Laugh and Travel with Abedin Ambakhutwala, and some 09 at the end, some number. Yeah. Number 0. But if you just type this whole thing, Laugh and Travel with Abedin, it's going to come up. Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. I love you. You're great. Thank you so much for taking time.
Oh, thank you, Linda. I love this. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
very
I'll
much.
share it and people will see it. It'll go up on my YouTube and people will see it.
I will go up there.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.